HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News, we have the latest Hiller Springs sports update and much more. But first, we start off remembering two Boston Marathon legends. Rick Hoyt recently passed away at the age of 61 years old. Right now, we reflect back on the tremendous legacy left by the Hoyt family. Rick and his father, Dick Hoyt, told their story at Elmwood School. The father and son are well known for competing in the Boston Marathon, in addition to other marathons, triathlons, and athletic competitions. At birth, Rick Hoyt was born a spastic quadriplegic with cerebral palsy, but that has not stopped the father and son from competing in over 1,000 athletic events, and they are a prime example showing that anything is possible. This year, they brought their message to Elmwood School of yes, you can.
Team Hoyt is a father and son team, and I'm the dad, and Rick, my son, when he was born, the doctor said forget him, put him away, put him in an institution, he's going to be nothing but a vegetable for the rest of his life. Well, today, Rick is 53 years old. He's graduated from public high school, graduated from Boston University, lives all by himself in his own apartment, and Rick and I have competed in over 1,100 athletic events in the past 35 years. You know, and we're still trying to figure out what kind of vegetable Rick is.
Are you guys going to be competing in any more events coming up?
Yes, we are. Last year we made an announcement that Rick and I will not be doing any more Ironman triathlons or full marathons. I'm 75 years old and my body's starting to tell me to slow down, but Rick and I will be doing Olympic-sized triathlons and 10-mile races and 5 miles and 10Ks, the shorter distance type of races, and we're hoping to be able to do 20 races this summer.
And can you tell us about the message you look to convey doing these presentations?
Okay, our message is yes, you can. There isn't anything you can't do as long as you make up your mind to do it. And there's no such word as can't in the Hoyt vocabulary.
Applied to do the World's Championship Ironman Triathlon out in Kona, Hawaii. They also turned us down. They said, Dick, you're a good athlete. You can compete, but your disabled son has to sit in the sidelines and watch you. And I said, no, we don't do things that way. So we were able to negotiate with them. And Rick is the first disabled person in the world, and still is, to ever compete and complete the Ironman triathlon. And because of his efforts, they now have a physically challenged division out there.
Now, you guys participated in the Boston Marathon last year. Could you tell us how that went?
Well, it was just unbelievable because it was the last marathon that Rick and I will be doing together. Rick will still be competing in the Boston Marathons, but he's got somebody else that will be pushing him, and he's a real heck of a guy. He's a local dentist from Billerica, Mass, and he has competed in 2 Ironmans and 14 marathons. And he's just a great human being, and so we're really looking forward, because Rick says if it comes down to one race a year, he wants it to be the Boston Marathon. And Hopkinton is our favorite place. It's just like we've been adopted by the people in Hopkinton. As you can see at the starting line is that bronze statue that was unveiled in the year 2013. It's just unbelievable, and we really love being here today with the schools.
Now, Team Hoyt, it's grown throughout the years. A lot more people are participating with Team Hoyt, and it just seems to be spreading like wildfire, especially throughout the Boston Marathon. Can you just talk about the growth of Team Hoyt
Yeah, it's unbelievable because when Rick was born, they didn't want us going into restaurants. People would get up and leave. They didn't want him going to school. They didn't want us competing in the Boston Marathon or road races. And now we're wanted all over the world. It's just amazing how big our story is spreading. And all these other countries emailing us and all that. Matter of fact, Father's Day is coming up. We're going to be down New Bedford. Rick's going to be running a half marathon with Brian. And we're going to go live over to Italy because it's Father's Day over there and do an interview with them. And then it's just amazing. We've been to Canada, we've been to Japan, we've been to China, we've been to Germany, we've been to El Salvador. We've just been all over the place. And now we've started Team Hoyt Virginia Beach, Team Hoyt San Diego, Team Hoyt New England, Team Hoyt Canada, and actually they want us to go over to Japan and start a Team Hoyt over in Japan. It's just amazing what's happening and what's going on.
Well, I'm sure Team Hoyt will continue to grow. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. It will continue to grow, and I think it's going to get bigger and bigger. And I think one of these days you're going to see a Team Hoyt in almost every state.
Dick and Rick Hoyt in the town of Hopkinton had a real and heartfelt connection that started years and years ago, and it's persisted right to this very moment. And to have the sculpture in front of Center School, which honors Team Hoyt, is going to be even more memorable now with the passing of Dick. To me, besides the athletic accomplishments of Dick Hoyt, the most powerful example that they set forth is the strong and bonding relationship between a father and son. That's really what unconditional love is all about.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Welcome back to HCAM News. Hiller Spring Sports is nearing the end of the regular season, and just about all of the Hiller teams are competing for a playoff spot. Here are the latest happenings. On Wednesday, May 17th, Hiller Girls Lacrosse welcomed in Holliston. It was a 7-4 Hiller lead heading into the second half.
Move you're looking to approach. And there's a shot and a score for the Hillers. Emily Hayward rings it through. Big time goal there. It's turned into a great weather day for this game here today. And there's a shot and a beauty of a goal. Jamie Arena striking with authority. And there's a shot, it's put in! Emma Dacey. Well, the Hillers looking to run away with this game. They lead it 10-4.
The Hillers net the first 3 goals of the half and never looked back. They outscored Holliston 8-4 in the second frame and took a huge 15-8 win. Hillers finished the week at 6-9 and ranked at the 32nd seed in the Division II bracket. Also that Wednesday, Hiller softball took on Norwood. It was a 13-8 Hiller lead heading into the top of the 7th. John Ritz on the call.
There's a hit. Picked up throw to first for the out. So that should be 2 away, but Norwood plates another run. So it's 11-3. No, she was safe at first. Still just 1 out.
Norwood rallies and takes a 14-13 lead and left the Hillers down to their final 3 outs.
There's a hit out of the outfield. A run scores to tie the game. There's a hit into the outfield. Run goes in. And Hopkinton, walk-off home run. Not a home run, but a walk-off run. I got so excited. Walk-off RBI. Wow, what an ending.
The Hillers come through and plated the walk-off run to take the game 15-14. At the same time that Wednesday night, Hiller baseball was in action versus Norwood. It was a 3-0 Norwood lead heading into the bottom of the 4th.
Line up in the pitch. Hit in the air, lined into left field. That's going to drop in. Here comes a run for the Hillers. It's a 3-1 game. Nice piece of hitting there by Hallenbeck, an RBI single. Simulus is around to score. Jolie at second. 3-2 count on Ruff. Big pitch here. And this is hit up the right side. That'll trickle into right field. Here comes another run to score. It's a 3-2 game. RBI single for Dylan Ruff. Nick Pajoli around to score from second base. Connor Hallenbeck up to third. Derek Hatherley to the plate. It looks like there is some Norwood warm-up action. This is hit high in the air, right center, and it is caught by the right fielder, runner from third, going to tag, and he will score. And the Hillers have tied it up. A sacrifice RBI flyout for Will Morgan. Hallenbeck scores.
Hillers tie the game at 3. It would remain tied until the bottom of the 6th.
Line up and the pitch. And this is up the right side, and everybody's going to be safe. A hesitation there by the first baseman who was going to throw home, then hesitated and didn't throw at all. And a run scores. 4-3 lead for the Hillers. And this is hit high in the air over to left center. And it is caught by the center fielder. Runner from third is going to tag, and he will score with ease. Carraza plating another run. It's 5-3 Hillers. A sacrifice RBI flyout to left field for Simulus.
Hillers played a pair of runs in the bottom of the 6th and would end up taking the game by a final of 5-3. Hillers improved to 10-5 with the win. On Thursday, May 18th, Hiller baseball was in action once again versus Holliston. Former Hiller head coach and Hall of Famer Steve Simos was on the call along with Brett Mulvey. It was a 3-0 Holliston lead heading into the bottom of the 4th.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a pickoff play implemented by Holliston to this point. Good delivery. Fastball driven up the middle. Connor Hallenbeck had to hold up initially on making the read. That's a base hit for Lenny Onken. I give a lot of credit to Will. His first start last night, facing one of the best pitchers in the league, and he's clearly seeing the ball well, giving him quality at-bats. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Got to score Connor Hallenbach. There's a ground ball through their left side. Great play by TJ Kiley to keep it in the infield, but there's a run. It's 3-1. RBI single for Will Morgan.
Holliston responded in the top of the 5th.
Who's up? Their top hitter, Nick Larsch. There's only so many times you can get through this. So the count is 1-0 on Nick Larsch, who I remind you is hitting over 500. Had a bunch of opportunities. He's 0 for 2 today. The delivery, driven, backhand knocked down by Dylan Ruff. He throws across the diamond. Too late to get the speedy Nick Larsch. A good play by Dylan Ruff, but a run is driven in. And it's 4-1. It's been a slow, steady, methodical accumulation of runs for Holliston.
Holliston would take the game 5-1. Hillers fall to 10-6 on the season.
Set to deliver. And she's going to hit this one in the air. That'll drop into center field. Kelsey McCoy being waved around. She's going to come around to score. And now Paharek being sent home, and she's going to have an inside the park home run. Holly Paharek absolutely tattooed that ball and comes all the way around to score. Inside the park home run.
Hiller softball was also in action Thursday. It was a 7-5 Holliston lead heading into the bottom of the 5th.
And she'll put this one in the air towards center field. That's going to get by the glove of the center fielder. One run is in to score. Here comes another run to score. And that is going to be a 3 RBI double for Charlotte Holden. The Hillers retake the lead, 8-7. Wind up and the pitch. Hit in the air over to left field, and that is going to get by the left fielder. A run is in. Here comes another run. And is DeSimone going to go for the inside the park? Yes, she will, and she'll get it. Inside the park home run, a 3-run inside the park home run by Caroline DeSimone. And the Hillers lead it 12-7.
The Hillers played 8 runs in the bottom of the 5th and would take the very important win by a final of 13-8. Hillers improved to 7-9 on the season. On Thursday, May 18th, Hiller boys tennis celebrated senior night before capturing a 5-0 win versus Holliston. Boys tennis also captured the TVL Large Championship, taking down Ashland via shutout. This was on Monday, May 22nd. The boys currently stand at 16-1 on the season. Also on May 22nd, the Hiller girls team celebrated their seniors and captured a big 3-2 win over Ashland. The Hillers improved to 12-4 on the season. Be on the lookout for HCAM News coverage for Hiller tennis during the postseason. The 2023 Hopkinton Annual Town Meeting took place on May 1st and May 2nd this year. On night 1, the DPW articles were moved to the front of the agenda to accommodate DPW Director John Westerling. All 7 articles would pass after a bit of debate about Lake Maspinock dam repairs.
Of anything to acquire, gift, purchase, or take by eminent domain, although we gave permission for them to use the property to repair the dam.
Your rights haven't changed. All town meeting is doing, we have to do by statute whenever we acquire an interest by land as the town, is to get an authorization from town meeting to negotiate the terms with you. So town staff still would have to negotiate the terms of the gift agreement or the terms of the easement. We can't come onto your property until you agree to that.
Article 5, the 2024 town budget of $113,277,232 passed with little debate.
On the expense side, Hopkinton's outstanding public schools are by far the largest slice of the spending picture. In addition to the direct segments shown for education, the majority of amounts for benefits and insurance and debt payments directly support education.
Article 17 called for the redesign of the second fire station in Woodville and passed a standing vote by an overwhelming majority after a bit of debate.
The article provides $70,000 to support architectural and engineering design for a new second fire station in the Woodville neighborhood. If successful, there will be additional costs proposed for actual construction in future years. The funding would be obtained through general obligation borrowing, also requiring citizen vote allowing principal and interest to be excluded from the taxation limits imposed by Proposition 2.5.
Perhaps the most controversial article of Night 1 was Article 19, Hopkins School Edition.
Has anyone looked at just keeping Elmwood School open for, we're going to build a kind of a replacement. Why not keep that building? It's got a lot of students in it.
What we are looking at is that really is a end-of-life replacement. So while you can house students, you can't house them for the true academic needs. When we looked at the district-wide study, which does look at all schools, one of the things that was passed on to the Permanent Building Committee as they're looking at the Elmwood School in the future is the potential of moving the preschool program over to the Elmwood School, because the Marathon School will also be projected to need more space. So one of the things that we would need to do or look at, which will require further study, is what if we relocated the preschool over to the Elmwood School.
The article calling for $3 million for the project passed a standing vote, 275 to 65. Night 2 was a bit more controversial. The night started off with Article 26, which called for parking spaces for electric vehicles.
I'm just curious, at 5 parking spaces, you start needing to have handicap spaces. So that brings you down to 4 usable spaces, non-handicap. This would affect someone with 5 spaces and possibly bring them down to 3, especially with the ADA requirements for the extra space. So I'm just wondering, have you considered that? Was that part of the discussion? What came out of it?
Yeah, Gary Trundle from the Planning Board. I don't think there's a perfect number solution here. There's a reason that we exempt parking lots that are less than 5 for those reasons, because it's just not feasible. Again, these are EV ready is an option. There are other ways to meet this requirement besides mandatory EV spots. And certainly if this were to be a problem, then it is possible that non-EV cars could park in that spot depending on the landowner's policy and standards.
The article passed the 2/3 majority. Article 28 called for a zoning district change of 2 West Elm Street and 0 West Elm Street.
The church is closing and the property will go up for sale. Under residential B zoning, the best use is to build houses on this property. It is not an ideal residential location given the proximity to the heavy traffic and lights on West Main.
I think based on what we did yesterday to try to increase affordable housing, this might be an opportunity for a creative and community-minded developer to put some housing in there that would help us provide affordable housing and maintain the character and the safety and the wishes of the residential community.
The article would fail. Article 29 called for a zoning district change of South Street and Hayward Street
Town meeting voted to go against the recommended no action and vote on the article.
And echo out and have a chance to be able to make change in this great community. And I think that change is what we're asking for, is to be consulted and to be able to stand before our peers and be able to effectively weigh in how we want to see this, land rezoned. But effectively, with 40% of all commercial property not occupied along Hayward and South, I think we're all unanimously in agreement that this article should not pass. And absent the visual aids that we labored over, which will now live in myth and memory, we thank you for your consideration.
The article would fail. Article 32, which called for more strict leash laws for dogs, raised controversy.
It's going to be a similar area. What is a similar area? I mean, that could be the beach. It could be, what are we talking here? Similar area. I mean, that kind of opens up a pretty wide open area.
The article would fail with 208 voting no and 185 voting yes. Article 33, which called for regulating short-term rentals of residential property, raised a lot of controversy.
Someone's right to make this house an Airbnb affected my neighborhood and my life. I don't think that someone's ability to make their house an Airbnb and charge someone to stay there gives you the right to upset my quality of life and everyone else on the street.
It's time to fill you in with some happenings in town you should know about. Hopkinton High School graduating seniors in the music program at Hopkinton High School pose for a photo with Craig Hay. And the balloon in the background, the 30 balloon, represents Craig Hay's 30 years in the Hopkinton Public School District as the Hopkinton High School Pops Concert Director. Big thank you to Denise Santaki for this photo. Hiller boys tennis defeated Ashland 5-0, improving to 16-1 on the season and clinching the TVL Large Championship. A big congratulations to Hiller boys tennis. Hiller girls lacrosse celebrated senior night before an epic battle with Ashland. It was a great game. Ashland ended up taking the win, but a very good battle. View the full collection of Senior Day photos at our sceneninhopkinton.org, courtesy of John Ritz. Here is a list of the upcoming town government meetings. Some big happenings on HCAM you should know about. On Friday, June 2nd at 6 p.m., we'll have the Hopkinton High School graduation ceremony. And Thursday, June 1st at 6 p.m., we'll have Senior Recognition Night as the 2022-2023 school year wraps up. For more information about government meetings on HCAM, head over to hcam.tv/gov. And for more information about the government meetings, you can head over to the town website at hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News. As always, we thank you for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.